So Iran has started. There's a new international conflict on the table. Have we forgotten 9/11? Have we forgotten how a dozen suicidal Al-Qaeda Islamic extremists hit New York? They killed 3,000 people and brought down the Twin Towers. Are our memories so short we think Iran can't hurt US interests across the world? The new dictator of the USA has unilaterally and illegally decided to start a war with Iran. A prediction I made last week in my Display Addict article. Now, he demands peace behind a threat of further bombings. Bombings for peace is like fucking for virginity. Trump has broken the hymen, there's no going back. America's no wars on my watch isolationist president has just attacked Iran to assist Bibi Netanyahu. Trump was persuaded in the simplest terms by Israel that Iran must not have a bomb. That's all. No argument. Iran must not have a bomb. Simple terms for simple minds. The nuances and technical intelligence from Trump's own intelligence people were too complicated for him. Doesn't have the attention span nor the mental capacity to absorb information above the level of a bloody comic book. If history shows us one thing about war, it proves we can't bomb countries into submission. This is the beginning of a new phase of international conflict. There's no requirement for other member countries of the UN to provide any support for the USA. There's especially no requirement for Prime Minister of UK Keir Starmer to offer support. This attack breached the US Constitution. It's illegal. It breached international law. It breached the UN Charter. Trump carried out an act of war against Iran without consulting his own Congress. Getting mealy-mouthed with words and legalities is an American speciality. Perhaps it's not a war. Perhaps it's a special military operation that will only last 3 days. Does that sound familiar? It can't and it won't. This is the beginning of something new and something that's going to grow. Those in the USA who think all their problems can be solved with military force are going to regret Trump's decision. Iran will not stop carrying out its nuclear research. In fact, it's more likely now than ever that they'll pursue this objective with greater passion. Why wouldn't they? Iran has a highly educated and advanced population. They're not the biblical ragheads that some morons in the world think they are. They're clever, well-educated people who've got advanced science. Oh, it's sad. I mean, suspect they surely are. Iran has been behind international terrorism for the last 50 years. It supports Hamas. It supported the attack that Hamas did to Israel last year and killed 1,200 young people at a music festival. There's no excuses for Iran, but starting a new conflict in the Middle East without justification, without the support of your people, without behaving legally within the laws of your own nation and international laws, it's absolute lunacy. Have they forgotten 9/11? Have they forgotten the Iraq War? Have they forgotten the destabilization that existed for 20 years after the failed Second Gulf War, when Bush and Blair illegally attacked Iraq on the grounds that there were weapons of mass destruction? There were no weapons of mass destruction. I knew there were no weapons of mass destruction, and I was just a young major in the forces of Mozambique. But I knew those missiles couldn't reach Cyprus, couldn't reach Israel, couldn't reach any other countries. They didn't exist. But somebody wanted a war. And somebody wants a bloody war today. If Trump wants an isolated USA, then he's taken another huge step towards that goal. In less than 6 months, he's undermined NATO, alienated his allies, removed support for Ukraine, crushed the US economy, destroyed any respect for the rule of law internally and externally in his own country, and placed masked thugs on the street with almost unlimited powers of arrest. Does that bring back memories of the 1930s? And now he bombs Iran. Well, this is not the end. This is the beginning. It's the beginning of a new terrible phase we're going to be frightened to get onto aircraft again. People are going to become vulnerable in US assets in the Middle East. Embassies, vehicles traveling, tourists, they're all going to become vulnerable. They're going to become attack targets again because Donald Trump hasn't got the mental faculties of absorbing anything more complicated than a comic book.